till we bleed. And when all love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in that line, past the we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in that line. The future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry. It was bone dry.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
Welcome back to the Casual Catch-Up. I am joined by Crille in a bit of a change of pace here. How are you doing, Crille?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Subbing in, yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. It's been an action-packed day. Subbing in for LTX Sam here, who is a bit under the weather. But we will have a fantastic show regardless. Crille, my teammate, of course, for the recently concluded duo series, got the win in Challenger tier, and great to have you here, Crille. Should be a great podcast. We're in the midst, of course, of solo series qualifiers. We just had day one today with the champion tier qualifier 1, which was quite the event, Crille. You did well yourself, actually. That ending was absolutely unbelievable, with the Vebwal confirming his spot.
I may not have won the most game I won once against Kusch, but even though I may not have won, I will still take that I was getting closer, and therefore I'm still getting better.
Absolutely, man. A really good performance from you. And everyone in the tournament, really, you know, we had very few disqualifications as well. Almost everyone showed up. Only 2, I think, in total. I had 16 players.
Fabel didn't make it the first one.
And he even Vebwal came back. So it was really good. Fantastic event. And looking forward to looking forward to 3 more. We're only a quarter of the way through here. A marathon of qualifiers to make it the solo series. But we're going to jump in first, Crille, with a bit of a conclusion of duo series. This is the last time we'll be talking about it. It was a great event. Playoffs really delivered. And we'll just look back at our win in Challenger tier here. This was happening last night. This time last night we were just off a win, I think. And here we are. We're looking at the total concluded bracket for Challenger tier. Backpacks making the run from the quarterfinals, beaten outdated to play ourselves, and then we did manage to get the win, Crille.
Yeah, they looked really, really good up until that final. Unfortunately, they had a couple of misconceptions and a couple of double commits, which we capitalized on.
Yeah, definitely. It was a strange match. I think the quality was maybe not the absolute highest of the whole event, but that comes with the pressure, I think, and maybe that got to them a little bit. I think, speaking personally, I didn't really mind. I was just playing, fairly. I would say I said poorly on the interview afterwards, but I wasn't playing fantastic. You were playing very solid, I think. But again, you probably would have expected to be playing a bit better, maybe. But we still got the win, and under the pressure as well. That's really what matters.
Mm-hmm. But what I was really happy about was that you actually was there to just follow up everything. I just made a mistake. You were just there to capitalize on it. So
yeah, I think it was a fantastic season, and obviously, for more teams than just us, there were lots of fantastic teams. Challenger tier, there was 14 teams, and only 4 made it to the playoffs. Of course, Esports, Kamat, and Leon. They came to the quarterfinals.
Yep. Let's see. I don't really have anything. Wait.
Yeah, I mean they were a solid team, but did lose to Backpack. I actually predicted them to win that one, Crille. I don't know. I don't know if you did, but what did you think about that quarterfinal? Just wrapping this up.
I would have also expected that Backpacks would have won it. I had that coming, but I was expecting it to be a close match, which indeed it was. It could have gone either way when you actually look into the smaller details.
Absolutely, they did start with a 1-game head start as well, was a major thing, I think.
And I feel like that's tough to be 1 game down and being up against a rank-wise stronger team.
Yeah, definitely, and Esports, they did very well to make this as far. Backpacks, they were a really good team. They beat Outdated then, of course, in the semis. Another good team, Crille.
True. That was a very, very close one again. Could have gone either way. Went to a best of 5. Backpacks just tipping the edge and just getting over.
Yeah, and then the final we've already talked about, but Challenger as a whole, I think it was a really good division. I think competitive wise and activity wise and in any metric really in terms of competitiveness, it really was the tier that stood out of the two. I mean, we'll move on to champion tier here.
Yeah.
Obviously the level here was a step above, but maybe not quite as competitive.
True. I think the difference between Champion and Challenger is in Challenger there's a lot more activity compared to Champion tier. But if you look at who you have in Champion tier, you can totally see why there's a big difference in the activity also, because it's the players that are there, they're top notch and they're better there.
Absolutely, yeah. And we see Scarab Appreciation Association, Kusch and Haskell taking that win. They won that match earlier in the week against Flamboyant, who themselves, they got a forfeit win in the quarters, but then beat Absolute Garbo, who were top of the table for long periods of that league play. But yeah, so congratulations to all the winners and anyone who made playoffs, to be honest. It was really impressive to even get that far in 2 very competitive tiers, and it was a really good event. We've learned a lot about duo series, about future formats as well, and we'll take it moving forward. And solo series, though, going to be even more exciting, I think, Crille.
I think as well. It's gonna be a clash. It's gonna be absolute fun to see both Challenger but also in Champion tier, which of course I did play today, which of course was very, very fun, and I really enjoyed that you have to queue anymore, that you actually just get in the format and you just get told what to do.
Exactly, yeah, and we'll just head straight on to solo series here, which of course we're in the middle of the qualifiers now. We just completed the Champion tier first qualifier, and you can see there your 3 players, Chromium, LTX Sam, and Vebwall, who made it through. Lots of stories here. Crille, yourself getting to a qualification match against Sam, obviously very difficult opponent. You did then lose to Vedwall, who obviously qualified as well. So you lost to 2 qualified players. So you did well, Crille. But
even though I might have been slapped up by 2 very, very strong opponents, which I have played a couple of times, I'll take it. I'll learn from it.
Absolutely, and we see some of the names who will be playing primarily in Challenger tier, who just tried their hand in this higher division. Jenga Benga, yourself, and Leon. You definitely did the best out of the 3. Jenga Benga and Leon had a tough time with things. Leon losing to RMD there in the lower bracket. Jenga going up against Kusch. And
That's a tough one.
oh, definitely, yeah. There's no easy draws in this bracket. There really wasn't. And Sam, a bit of an interesting story. Obviously he's not here today in the podcast as he usually would be, because he's under the weather, not feeling very well. Still put up a good performance, sweeping Leon, just barely beating Haskell and then beating yourself. That match there against Haskell was unbelievable. Overtime in game 3. It was incredible. And we could be looking at a very different bracket. Imagine Sam went down to that lower bracket, things could have happened. Lots of things could happen. Anything could happen. In the end, it was a very turbulent way to get the top 3 seeds through. Chromium, Sam, and Vedwall were the top 3 for the seeds in this event, and they made it through. Vedwall, though, did not make it easy for himself, not showing up for his first match, and then beating N-Cannon, Jamingo, Epics, yourself, and then somehow riding in the qualifier match from 1-0 down. Obviously, there were events that took place that we won't be taking lightly, and we'll be taking some action against. But unfortunate fashion that he won game 2. Obviously, he disconnected. Ryden didn't score the open net, and he ended up winning the game. And then game 3, though, there was no controversy about that one. That was just pure drama in the end. 5 seconds left. Ryden was controlling the game. Crille, I don't know if you were watching at the time, but
I wasn't watching the last one. I was watching the first 2, and that was intense.
It was absolutely unbelievable. 5 seconds left. Ryden was up a goal. He had controlled the game for about a minute or more, just holding that 1-goal lead, and then he own goaled on 5 seconds, and then Vedwall immediately got a 0-second kickoff goal, which was just, if you want to think of ways to lose, that is about as bad as it gets for Ryden, who was a fantastic competitor all bracket long, and he put up some fantastic performances, sweeping Fix, sweeping Epics, losing 2-0 to his teammate Chromium, but they were very close games, then beating Haskell 2-0, and it looked like he's about to sweep Vedwall, as you said, but
almost.
Yeah, the Norwegian just getting through there, but a very, very close bracket, and so open, I think, for the second qualifier on Wednesday. Of course, anyone could get through, really could.
We're going to see how he's going to do that. I don't think we've seen the last of him.
Definitely not. I think Ryden, he'll thoroughly merit a top seed in the next qualifier, barring someone unbelievable coming in and who didn't play in this one and playing in that qualifier. He's going to be very highly seeded regardless. And I would expect him to make it a solo series and maybe some juicy rematches between him and Vedwall. We will have to see.
It's going to be a clash.
It's going to be some clash. But Crille, we can just move on to sort of the next 3 days of qualifiers. Obviously, Challenger Tier Qualifier 1 will be happening tomorrow. I will be playing that, so I'm looking forward to that. And we're just going to go over some predictions here with Kusch, who has joined us. Hello, Kusch.
Oh, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Looking forward to some predictions here. We've all done a little prediction for tomorrow's bracket in Challenger Tier, and this will be the first release of the bracket as well. It's not been put up on Smash GG yet, so this you casual catch-up viewers, you're going to be getting the first look at the bracket for tomorrow's Challenger Tier Qualifier 1. Let's have a look. We'll look at my prediction first.
Of course.
And we can see the seeding there. Leon, a May 1v1 Cup champion, coming in as the top seed. A lot of stories here. Obviously, this has not been played yet. This will be played tomorrow, 5 p.m. start time, just as it was today. Some fantastic matches, maybe even more competitive than today, if that's even possible, Kusch.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It's a tough act to follow, especially that last match. Obviously, I cast it with you.
Indeed.
It's we can't even describe it. I don't think it was just unbelievable. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch the end of that last stream. earlier today, because that was just some match between Valbon and Ryden. But looking down at Challenger here, I think every possibility this is going to be just as competitive. And we can see in my predictions, I went, as I always do, Kusch, a little bit unique. I never predict with the seeding. I always have to go with a little bit of an upset here and there. And I went with some significant ones. Leon, I predict him to lose second round to Rick. And that's a really interesting match because in the May 1v1 Cup, Leon obviously won that. He was against Rick in round 1. He was actually 1 seed lower than Rick. They were 8th and 9th seed. Rick didn't show up for the tournament, and Leon went on to win it. If Rick showed up for that, who knows? Who knows? He was a higher seed than Leon. He could have beaten him, and it could have been such a different story. But now we might be seeing that rematch if those two players get to the second round. But any thoughts on my bracket here, Crille or Kusch? It's a bit of an interesting one.
Bracket. I mean, there's a couple of things I would disagree with, I guess, but I mean, I do see where you're coming from. In most games, I can agree on. I don't know if so you have Leon, Jenga Benga, and Evoke. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't have a clue because there's like basically top 6 seed, or like probably up till 8. Like anybody could win that, or yeah, probably I'd say probably to 7. Like from Krolik to Leon, anyone could have a good day and win.
Definitely. I totally agree.
That's where I don't really know where to start.
Even Fox and Rick, I would include in that. Like very capable players, totally possible. And then you look down to 10th seed, even Mist, a capable player. We've seen him in some weekly crew battles. He's not bad whatsoever. But
I mean, it's of course a bit tougher not knowing some people here like Fox or.
Absolutely, a lot of newcomers who are always attracted by these open qualifier or cup-based events, and it's great to see. May 1v1 Cup, we brought a lot of new faces in. It seems that the solo series qualifiers will be doing the same, and that's fantastic to see. But Crille, what are your thoughts here? I mean, I was humble here. I predicted myself to lose. I didn't predict myself to go through. Very sad times. But
I see a lot of upsets, and it's like you said, it's a controversial one.
I always try to be controversial, you know me.
I mean, I do gotta say, I like the first round. I kind of agree on everything there.
Yeah, same.
But then you just have some interesting picks, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
Like probably looking especially at the top 2, Leon against Rick and Spf against Jenga Benga. Some interesting games, I guess.
Definitely.
Also, Taste and Krolik, and actually all of those. Actually, they're all really interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Krolik versus Taste, I know Krolik has a very good record against Taste. I do believe he's never lost a series to Taste in ones in all the competitions they've played. So I had to go with Krolik just on that basis. Versus Taste, I do think in general Taste will probably have better results against the rest of the field. He is 2nd seed here. He came 3rd in the May 1v1 Cup, of course. But Krolik, somewhat kryptonite, of course. The even bigger kryptonite for him is Leon, who he has never even taken a game off in casual open competition. He's been swept 3-0 both times they've ever played, in OTT and in the May 1v1 Cup, which Leon won, of course. And you can see at the end there, I did have them matching up, and I did have another sweep for Leon predicted there. I just can't go against that. But it's funny. I mean, I took a pretty unorthodox route to get here, I think, with some early questionable matches. But actually, if you look at your two predictions, very similar. In terms of between us three, we could have picked 9 different people. We only picked 4. To make it, so only one person different.
5 actually, right?
4, I believe. In fact, I'll just skip over to Krill's predictions here. We all picked Evoke to make it through the upper bracket. Very interesting. The 6th seed here. We all predicted him to make it.
4, okay.
We all predicted Leon to make it, and then myself and Krill predicted Jenga. You predicted. Well, we'll get on to that. But Krill these are your predictions. Would you like to walk us through them?
Yes. So if we just start from the top and go to the bottom, of course the reason why I go with Leon is because of his success. He's been doing absolutely amazing when it comes to just 1v1. He won
Definitely.
the makeup, and he's been doing what I feel like relatively well in OTT matchups as well. When it comes to, of course, Spf and Benga versus each other, I was deciding whether or not to let my heart of my teammate go, or
I can't believe you let me down, Krill. I cannot believe it.
or actually combine
Might
the
have to
skill.
kick him from casual.
Although I
yeah.
made the exact same prediction myself, of
The
course.
reason
So
why I chose Benga over Spf was because he did look a little bit of a threat towards when we came to up to Champion League. He played very good when he played against Kusch, is what I've heard from him, and that's kind of the reason why what I'm thinking that will give him that edge.
yeah, I mean, I've played him a couple times. I think very close games both times, and really, really fun. And I'm looking forward if that match does happen. Of course, Plankton and Laser, they'll be looking to stop those two, us two getting to that round. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If I do play Jenga, it'll be a fantastic game. I would expect it to go to game 3, and whoever takes it, coin flip for me. And really, like I said, up to like 1 to 9 seed is like
It could be anyone.
almost all coin flips. Like, it's crazy, apart from some matches which we have history behind them, and we know some players have dominant records against others. But yeah, Krill, you know, I can't really strongly disagree with your bracket, to be honest. I mean, Leon, so good. You know, absolutely. I think cruising through the upper bracket would not take me by surprise whatsoever. Evoke, funny that we all predicted Evoke to make it. He's a newcomer to Casual Open. Obviously, you heard him on the cast earlier today in Champion
Pretty
Tier.
confident.
And, you know, very good player. We've seen him in 2s a little bit, and fantastic at 2s. I know he doesn't play 1s a whole lot, but we're all thinking that he can convert that success into 1s. And we all have him beating Llama. We all had Wrench making it and had him beating Wrench. You had Taste losing to Vogue as well here.
I think we'll see an
I had
upset
Kralik.
there against Taste and Kralik there. I think we'll see a little upset.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, Kusch, we can have a look at your bracket now. Another interesting one. You
So if
were
you haven't changed.
the only person who predicted different. Myself and Krill, we actually predicted the exact same people to make it, in different orders. But you had one different person. You had myself instead of Jenga Benga.
Pretty sure this either stream's delayed or I'm seeing your bracket right now. If
Mine?
I'm not mistaken.
it's
Stream's
refresh.
bracket.
No.
Oh, there you
Refresh.
go. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was behind. Okay. Yeah. No, I choose you, Spuff. Basically,
choose you.
yeah. Well, looking at basically, okay, the first round, it's like kind of the same at everyone. It's just basic. It's kind of the seeding. There's a big skill gap, of course. So those are some easier decisions, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But then looking at the second round there, those are some tough matches. Looking at Taste and
Yeah, it gets
Kralik,
really interesting.
you and Chengbanga and Leon and Rick. I think Leon will take that. Leon is a really solid player overall. Yes, sometimes it's small mistakes there, which of course makes him a bit down
He has
to
weaknesses.
the
Yeah, he has
challenger
weaknesses
tier.
for sure.
So that's fair. And when I played with Rick, I kind of missed sometimes. Like, I don't know what it was, but I just missed something. Maybe even a bit of experience there. Or I don't know. But I think Leon will take that, and then just you and Jenga Benga. Jenga Benga, I played him today, and especially the first game, he played really well. He kept up pretty good, but he lost it eventually. I especially at the end there, I kind of got to him or something, and he just, I don't know, he didn't like. I've played you a good amount of times, and I've played him now, and just kind of going off that, I struggle more with you than with him. I feel like, and that's also probably why you are a bit higher seeded, I guess.
Well, just one higher, yeah. I think we're
Yeah,
very
one
close
higher,
on
but
paper for sure.
I mean, I might just break it. You never know.
Absolutely.
And then I have you winning against Leon there to
Another
qualify.
really good match.
And
Yeah, I look forward to it. Should it happen?
indeed, really interesting. Basically, Leon, a really good player, but he won
May the May
the May
1v1.
1v1 Cup. Yeah, thank you. And I don't know. Since then, he's been kind of the king of once in the lower in
Champion
like
tier.
challenger tier. So he might be. I don't know. He's a really good player, but he might be overlooked sometimes. Maybe even.
You think he's
I
his
don't know if that would be the right way to say it.
Hmm.
You think that
I
And
get
don't make
you.
it get me wrong. He's a really good player, and I've played him a couple of times. But again, I struggle a bit more with you than with Leon. I feel like,
Okay.
especially lately, you've been improving a lot. Um, just your control basically over the ball is just a bit better, which will really do it. Um, and then basically Taste and Kralik. I didn't know Taste has never won against Kralik.
Same.
But we'll see. Yeah, I got no clue. That could go both ways,
Oh,
to be honest.
it could still go both ways. Absolutely. I think it's a long time
Um,
since they have played. In fairness.
if Taste takes it slowly, then I think Kralik will be a bit. Will probably
He'll win.
lose. So yeah, Kralik is really quick. So he tries to. He needs quick. He needs a quick game to win, basically. And I if maybe Chase pulls it up, we will see about that. That's when I really don't know, to be honest. I haven't seen a lot of those players. Then Wrench and Evoke. I played with Evoke in the crew battles, and like even the fact that he doesn't play once. Like I looked at how he played, kinda, and his control over everything is there, and I think that will just make him go through all the way. So like you don't need to be, you don't have to play once to be good at
Oh,
once.
definitely not. Absolutely not.
If you know how it works, then then you don't even have to practice, to be honest. So I don't know. Evo kind of has something which like his ball control is just so on point in my opinion, and his decision making and stuff.
Definitely, he was
And
really
those are
impressive in
some
that match.
important
I know the
parts.
one you're talking about. It was really, it was
Exactly,
quite a
against
show.
Krill and Sam.
Yeah, and you won that comfortably, which was really
Yeah.
interesting. Krill and Lucky.
And I couldn't let Leon not go through, so I did decide
Yeah,
to
you had him
to
through the
the lower
lowers,
brackets.
winning
Yeah,
against Jenga Benga. Yeah,
against yeah, indeed. Again a tough match there, but I think Leon
Definitely.
can take it. If Leon just adapts, then he'll probably take it.
We play some out.
Jenga Benga plays a bit weird, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's
Not in
definitely
the best
unique. I would say in his playstyle and ones for sure.
I don't know if Leon has ever seen him play, or if you have ever seen him play.
I've played him a couple times. Yeah, he's
Okay, yeah, I'm
he's,
not,
he's a good. He's a really good player. Fantastic player.
yeah, for sure. I'll keep it.
And my
I'll
ex
keep
teammate, of
it,
course, as well, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where he came from. Guessing RLI.
Yes, we
What?
were teamed in RLS for a short time.
Ah, okay. But
interesting.
no, I just think Jenga Benga and Leon will go through lower brackets and then find each other in the losers round 5.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, we've all picked very
Leon-
similar people, but I think it's far closer than that might seem. I mean, you really said it. 1 to
Indeed.
9, anyone could make it. These matches, I mean, Taste versus Jenga Benga. I'm looking at Jenga Benga versus Rick. Jenga's whole run could be stopped with Mist, and Mist could go on a run, or
Yeah.
that's the thing, and that's just
I
a
mean,
small
like,
example
yeah.
of this
I
whole
mean,
whole tournament.
I wouldn't be amazed if Rick would place, or if I don't know, if Wrench or Taste. Indeed, yeah. Like I wouldn't be amazed, or
100%.
Jenga Banga. Like I
Could be anyone.
nah,
It could be anyone. It
like,
could be anyone.
that's the
Even
re-
more so than the higher tier, I think.
That's the thing. Like if you look at 1 to 8, 1 to 9, actually, they're all really close.
Absolutely.
And the rest is a bit further off. Then that's why it's kind of challenger tier, I guess. It's just a bit.
Yes. Yeah.
more
There's a
outweigh-
there's
yeah.
a cutoff certainly towards that
Exactly.
end. Yeah, definitely.
I feel like also if you look at champion tier, Kusch, don't get me wrong here, but if you look at champion tier, it's pretty like already chosen who's going to be top 6.
Yeah.
And if you look to champion challenger tier, it will
I
be
mean-
more spread, and there's like anyone could go through.
I mean, the thing is, if a a 1600 beating a 2K is unlikely,
Mhm.
just because the 2K will have probably like double the hours the 1600 has. But a champ 1 beating a champ 2 or a champ 3
Oh yeah,
isn't that
way more
weird. Like,
possible. And the
Mhm.
thing
yeah,
is as well, like, I mean, you mentioned it earlier. Whether they have played ones or they have any experience in ones, or if they
yeah,
just
exactly.
are interested in ones whatsoever, that deteriorates the further you go down. I think, like, you'd have a champ 3 who maybe has never played ones in their life, conceivably, I think, and you could have a champ 1. I mean, I think Leon is actually lower ranked than most people in 2s and 3s.
Indeed.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Pretty sure it's
Probably
champ
he's
2.
he's he's top
Yeah.
seed, because he plays ones a lot. Fastbender asking in chat, are the qualifiers closed? Champion tier qualifier 1 took place today. On Wednesday, the second qualifier will take place. That's still open for registration. Maybe if Kusch or any other staff could put the bracket in, or the link to sign up in chat for anyone
Kusch.
interested. Thanks a
I
lot.
got you.
But
I
yeah, so
already
we
have
have
it.
4
I have
days
it
of
on the way.
qualifiers here.
There you
This
go.
will be tomorrow for Challenger tier.
That is it.
But yeah, the
If-
question of, like, I think one's main is the term one's main is thrown around a lot, for players who are good at ones or play a lot of ones. But I think it's like you can have a player, you said, who doesn't play much ones and can be excellent at ones if their skill set
Exactly.
caters to it. And I think that's the case for a lot of people here. I mean, I actually, I think people have said, in the past, maybe I call me a ones main or whatever, or I'm just an example. I don't actually play that much ones. I think the skill set that I have, which is mainly grounded, sort of caters
Exactly.
to ones, where I don't even actually play it that much. I think there's a lot of that, especially as I said, as you go down the tiers, people are players are much less well balanced, and you have specialists, especially in Challenger tier. We have a lot of specialists in certain areas. You have players who are really good in the air, really good on the ground, with really good mechanics or fantastic decision making or really strong challenge game, but very few who have it all. And that's why if you have it all, you're in champion tier more often than not. So that makes for really interesting matchups as well. When you look, I mean, we look at Wrench and Krolic. They've matched up. Wrench has had a good matchup against them. Taste and Krolic, Taste has never won a match. And Leon against Taste. They're the top 2 seeds here, but Leon has an unbelievably dominant record against Taste, as I mentioned. So you just get that at this tier,
you
more
never know.
than champion, even so.
You never know. Maybe someone wakes up with a broken controller or something. No, but, like you can basically see
Oh,
like
yeah,
they wake up
absolutely,
with
yeah.
a broken controller with like a golden controller.
Those
They
are the margins
fucking
at this
play great,
level, yeah,
and
absolutely.
exactly like if someone pops like that's basically how people get their peak most of the time. They just pop off one moment, and then like if you're looking at like someone that's 2K that has hit 2K and it's now like 1800, it's probably because they were in 1800 and they had just had a week or two that they just actually fully popped off and just
Absolutely.
made 2K, and that's basically how that works. And if someone pops off in the tournament, you never know.
Absolutely, it just depends on the day who plays well. And also, if you can survive a bad day. I think we saw Sam, he's not feeling well today or whatever,
But
and he
still
didn't
made
have the best day. He still made it. He
Indeed.
barely beat Hasko, but he did beat Hasko, and he beat Krill, and he qualified. A second seed despite not playing to his level. And if people can survive that, then that's sort of when you have a real within their tier, that you have a player who can really go far and do well, because you're gonna have days where you have bad days, and this is a 2 week long league play. You mentioned you can have spells where you're on fire, you can have spells where you're playing terrible, and you go into a match where you think it's unwinnable. But those players who can
Can
win
I-
it even on a bad day, that is
Kusch, you have a
huge.
question.
Yes, I want to answer Plankton's question. He asked me why I think he will win against Laser. I don't know who Laser is. Looking at seat, he's higher than Plankton.
Well,
That was a big voice crack. Anyways, no. But anyways, so basically, where I'm thinking, or what I'm thinking about, is the fact that Plankton, you've been improving tons lately, and like in rapid speed, basically, like actually like big time. You kind of went from like, it looks like you kind of went from like gold to like diamond or something in like a couple of weeks. And maybe even that, like what we were talking about, that someone just popped off. Maybe you had that time there. So I just think you'll probably take him. It's one seed different. So yeah, that's
It
why.
could happen.
Definitely. I think I think I think everyone predicted Plankton, so Plankton will be delighted to know everyone predicted Plankton to beat Laser.
Don't worry, there's
All
no pressure on
2-1.
us.
No pressure, Plankton. I mean, sure, Plankton could beat myself in round 1. I'm scared of that matchup. I'm not looking forward to it at all. But no, but it's interesting to see these predictions that are similar end results but such different paths. And at the end of the day, we're all going to be wrong tomorrow, which is the beautiful thing. And you can only find out the true results and see the matches live here on the Casual Open Twitch channel, which will be streaming all day tomorrow. Yes.
Since I won't be able to make it tomorrow, will I be able to qualify? If I don't qualify for champion on Wednesday, will I still have a shot at qualifying?
Yep,
for
absolutely. Yeah. If anyone's not free to play in one qualifier, you're always open to play in the rest of them, and it's no different for you, Krill. But we are going to have a bit of a shorter show here today with Sam not here. And a little bit less material than usual with solo series. We're so busy with that. That is going to be the end of the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for Challenger Tier. If you didn't catch Champion, worth watching back that VOD actually, because it was quite incredible, especially at the end. It was unbelievable. And we have 3 more days of qualifiers. And the qualifiers are just the beginning for solo series. We will be back with the full main event then right afterwards, starting next week. So it's a packed schedule, and make sure to get involved if you're not already, because it is really a fantastic event and we're looking for as many people as possible to take part. But thank you very much, Krill. Thank you very much, Kusch, for being a special guest here and taking over for LTX Sam in this casual catch-up episode 3. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow from 5 p.m. BST with Challenger Tier Qualifier 1.
Bye.
Bye.